So, yeah, I spent most of my day working on. I am by no means a professional streamer. I just started. I've thought about it for many years, but never actually done it. Um, so, I started working on this today, and I was setting up OBS, setting up Streamlabs, setting up Twitch. I've been doing a lot of work on it, trying to get all these little, fancy widgets and stuff working. But just before I started recording tonight, the video feed got scrunched up. I mean, its proportions are off, and I've tried adjusting it a number of times. So if anybody's got any feedback, has experienced this with OBS, because if I open up Elgato, it's perfectly normal. My video is good, but every time I launch OBS, this is the video feed, and I've tried deleting it and recreating it. But be that as it may, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I said, and we're going to start watching or going over how to do um, Asgar's. Well, here's the thing. If you're running campaigns, every campaign has to have a map of some sort. And trust me, your players have a really good imagination, so that's not really, a big concern. So what we're going to be doing, I'll turn this fan off real quick. Ambient noise, big no-no. And get the cat out of here. Go. So anyhow, like I was saying, every campaign you really need some maps, and nowadays we have a lot of tools at our disposal that are pretty nice. One such tool is Arkenforge. I've been using it quite a bit. It really enhances our gameplay. And another tool that is really handy for actually making the maps, I'll open up here, is Asgard's Fantasy Map Generator. I save this locally so that I've got a constant copy of it, because sometimes he'll do updates to his software and your maps won't be compatible and you can't re-import them. So I saved a copy locally. So at any rate, what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to go through all of this. I have work to do, and it was a good thing to actually record. So I'm going to generate a couple of maps until I get a map that I actually like. But if you follow along, you'll kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm going to give myself a couple of cultures. I'm removing all the states because I don't want state icons. Um, Growth rate, towns, I don't want any towns. I'm going to handle that separately, a different way. Um, Tooltips, transparency, PNG resolution, we're good there. I set the size 1024 by 768 so that I can actually make it a decent sized map for Arkenforge. Oh, there's Iceland. That's nice. Um, let's see. All right. I want to show my biomes. And we don't have any cultures, so that's fine. Let's show our relief icons. It's going to take it a minute to generate those. And we'll turn on biomes as well. So we're going to generate a couple until we get a map we kind of like. Actually, that's not too bad. It's got a little bit of desert over here, some plains, some forests, and some mountains. I'm actually pretty impressed with that one. No big mountain ranges, it's just kind of hills. So what we can do is we can go in here and edit the height map. Keep. And we're going to raise the elevation smoothly up in this area and give ourselves some mountains and maybe a little tail. Alright, there we go. And let's smooth it out. Is that the smooth? Yeah. Add some noise to it. There we go. Exit customization and regenerate relief icons. Now we got some mountains. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted. We got hills, mountains, a desert. Pretty good. And one important thing I look for here is that all of the coast are completely encompassed in this actual map. And now we've got to actually edit the size to make it more D&D-ish. What is it? It's under Tools, and I want to change the hexes. So let's go ahead and show the grid. And generally, I want one hex to be about 18 miles. So it's been a while since I've done this. I want to configure units, and if I'm right, 1 mile is 0.5 pixels. Nope, that's not right. 1.5. Nope. Just say 1. That gives us, that's about 18. It's about probably as close as we're gonna get. We could go 1.1 and probably get it. Nope. 1.05. That's right at it, but I'm gonna just stick with 1 for simplicity. 1 mile is 1 pixel. There we go. Boom. We've got an 18-mile hex, which is the traveling distance in D&D per day on foot. So there we go. Now we got a good grid. We got relief icons. We got some swamps, I think. Yep, we got some swampy areas over here. Do we have roads? Because I did not put towns in here, we have no roads, I don't believe. So, or they're not showing up. Routes. So tools, regenerate routes. Do I seriously have to put towns on here to get routes now? Yeah. Okay, so, all right, let's go back to style. Options. And towns number. Let's give ourselves 50 towns. And no, that's too many. 35. 35 towns. There we go. It's pretty nice. Now, unfortunately, we got to generate a new map because I piddled around with it. We pretty much got the same map. That's pretty nice. But now we have town names. So what we're going to do is go in here and turn these town names off. Labels. Labels. Cities. There's 35 towns. Opacity to 0. That should remove our town Okay, now we just got little dots where the towns are. I can actually handle that. You know, it's not the end of the world, but we had our routes, and that's what I really wanted to have was routes. So that we actually got roads for our guys to travel on. Alright, good. And our landmass is completely encompassed. So let's go ahead and double check our options. Our PNG resolution's all the way up, and we're going to save as. That's fine. A map file, and then I want to rename that. Rename to base family campaign map. And now let's make it sepia. That's the way I like to do my maps generally. Options 1024 768. Save as. We got our cultures. PNG. It's going to take it a little bit to download that one. Now that we got our biomes and we got our sepia map. We're gonna actually turn on cultures and leave the reliefs on. Yeah, we'll leave this is the actual cultures of the area. And we didn't do states. Um, debating on whether that was a mistake. I don't have mountains on this one either. Okay, I'm gonna regenerate it. That's fine. Go back to options. How many states we want? 5. Um, towns. 35 seems to be pretty good on this one. I want to make it a high island. Cultures. 4 seems pretty good. And I'm going to jack up the points number to about 50 and create a new map. We'll do this again. It takes some work. Now you notice when I put up the points, it actually gives us more relief icons. It gives you a little bit better map. I like this one. Is it all encompassed? Yeah, it's completely on the page. Are our units still good? Yeah, we got roughly 18 miles per hex. Some nice relief icons. Yeah, very nice actually. We've got a desert surrounding some mountains. Good little sized mountains there. Some nice coasts, some islands. I like this map. Alright, so again with our thing here, we're going to go to states this time and turn the opacity up on that because I don't want to see states. I really don't. And I don't want to see capitals either. So cities, none. Now we have the icons, of course, but we just don't have city names. Um, generally for D&D, there's not a map. People don't have like a map of the whole world, so what's the point in having city names and stuff on a map? They're going to have to discover these places. Also, that gives you the flexibility and the freedom to not have a static map. If you're playing without your map one day and you name a city Johanssonville, well, on the fly, then you can go back and actually add in that name on your map if you want. Or you can just like put a little note in here, like a DM's note or something like that. So that's kind of how we're going to handle that. Dingy. For this world, I think I'm going to go with a dingy appearance instead this time around. I'm going to edit my ocean a little bit. And I don't remember what was it modding? There was a certain pattern that I liked on the ocean. That's not it. Pattern 1 was just too not random enough. I guess it was pattern 3. I don't know if that's what it was originally. Let's see what that's a little better. Smooth layers. Smooth 9. Yeah, that's even better. Kind of smooths out the depth. Oh, I don't know what I just hit. I turned on precipitation. Okay, so relief icons, biomes. Don't want my states yet. I don't want my cultures yet. I just want the biomes so that we have a map. And I'm going to save map as map. And again, rename it. Yeah, sorry. I haven't really cleaned up much since I've started streaming. I need to clean up my downloads because it just doesn't look too professional. So we got that. Next up, I'm going to take away those and put cultures in so we can see the different cultures. PNG. Let's let that download. cultures. 22K is not too bad. Um, Biomes, save as PNG. We get our biomes. And then after we get our biomes, we'll get our states. Save as PNG. And come on, last but not least, states. You see, I kind of made that very simple. I did do some changes. There's a lot of stuff you can do in here. You can set up cities, you can put populations, you can do all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to do that. I just don't see the need. Okay, so anyhow, there we go. We got it. That was just a brief rundown of it. And I've saved my map so I can actually re-import it if I was to actually go back here. If I wanted to, I could actually load downloads base family map. Boom. I just loaded my map up. So I have that for editing later. Next up, let's go to Arkenforge. This is the tool that I actually use to run my games. I love it. It's actually quite wonderful. And I'm going to go to Cartographer. I don't use the world map functionality for this yet until they actually implement it a little bit better. I could try it. Import image, downloads. Just it's missing a lot of functionality right now. Like you can't insert markers or anything like that really. So anyhow, back to delete map. Yes. Encounter map. Worlds. Family adventure. World map. Create new map. Cancel. Yeah. Create new map. What are we going to call the world? It's a continent. Continent name. I don't know. Just Cathrol. Whatever. I know. Whatever. That's great. So let's import media. Downloads. States. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is turn the grid off. If I can remember how to do it. Is it on here? Grid settings. None. Grid settings. Hex. And now I have to match up the grids. Oh, I got the wrong hex. Ah, shucks. I can do that. It's not really the best idea, but I just shifted my whole map. I can't shift the grid. Alright, well crap. Gonna delete it. Lucky for us, we can load our old map back in. Tools. Options. Style. Grid. Hex flat. Save as. PNG. Biomes. Save as. Map. Biomes. Cultures. Save as. PNG. Oh, buggers. Wasn't paying attention. I'm not doing too good at this. Okay. It's been a while. I have not made a map in a while. Save as. Map. Save as. PNG, and we're on cultures. Generally, when I used to use this tool, it doesn't work anymore, but when I used to use it, I would actually let the states and capitals and cultures, the names, the labels on the map, go ahead and ride. And what I did was I called them, I used a different kind of rune. A different kind of font, which was runes. Biomes, now states. Let's remove our biomes, add in our states, save as. I had that zoomed in. Really? PNG. Because what I like to do is I like to have overlays. And I'll show you that because I'm going to have to resave all these because I'm just goofing up all over the place. And I bet my scale's even off. I don't know if it saved it. Yeah, it did. A hex is about 20 miles. I can live with that. Two biomes. Let's check it out first. Make sure me zooming up. Alright, we got a good one. Biomes. Okay, we're good. We got all three of them. Okay, Arkenforge, import, downloads. First thing I want is my states. Finally. Grid's good. So I want to snap it to grid. and try to kind of line this up. They made this look so easy on the tutorials, but it's really not. Because I have to line this up, then I have to add in my secondary map, line it up so I can actually use them as overlays. And I can hide one, and I just do them in layers. Um, okay. Alright, we're good there. Now, downloads. Oh, cancel. That's layer 0. So layer -1. We're going to import our cultures map. So we can go from states to cultures. And I want to set the transparency on this. Oh. Do. Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to. A little bit of work. Alright, that's 2. Now go to the next layer. Um, import media, downloads, biomes. 2. Manipulation, transparency. 1, boom. This isn't working out. One showing through to two. It'll work. Right there. I think we got it. Not perfect. Boom. That is just about as perfect as we're going to be able to get it, I think. So now, opacity reset. Opacity reset. 1. Opacity reset. 2. Opacity reset. So now we have, what we've just done is created a world map that we can actually add a fog of war to and reset the fog of war and none, brush size. We can actually erase. While they are playing, if we go to a town, and we should be able to find one relatively easily. So, yeah, a town. There's like 35 of them on this map, so it shouldn't be too hard to find them. There's one. So if they start out there, we could actually highlight that area. And as they continue to adventure onward, we can, they take a little track over here and they go into these woods and they get into an adventure. We could put an adventure in these woods, and this is their world map. So from a player's view, oh, well, it's because we're on as a DM, we can actually see the actual background, but the players won't see anything but this area on their map. And then, the more they progress, the more areas they get. And, you can kind of there you go. So, yeah, simple. Um, so that is what we've just done. We've created a world map that our players can play in. But not only that, we have, and I think, I've never tried this before, but I think the Fog of War does not work across the different maps, the different layers. Um, that is a little disappointing. I wish the Fog of War would work across layers, but apparently it doesn't. So, what you can do though with it is, which I mean makes sense because I'm not using it as it's designed to be used. Oh, and you can snap to grid as well. You can actually, there's not a hex tool, but you can snap it in here and it'll snap to the centers of them. And go square, snap it to the grid. Um, so as they explore, you can give them some world. And as you can see, that's just countless opportunity for adventure here. So what I'd probably suggest is on these other ones perhaps not having Fog of War. You might want to have a different map for those. We're a little off there. That maybe has no relief icons and play on the one that's got the biomes. So that way, they don't know where the states are, and you can use it as a reference where the state lines are. Same with cultures. If this is mostly kobolds and this is like gnomes or something, however you want to handle that. So, at any rate, I'll be playing this one. Reset the Fog of War. These would be for my viewing purposes. I won't actually be switching these over for the players. They'll just get this one. Yeah, it's not using it as it's designed or as it's intended to be used, um, but it works. And then obviously, like I was saying, you can put your own custom objects in here. And apparently, for some reason, I'm not pulling any of the objects, which is kind of weird. It might be a bug. Not really sure. Um, Contents library. Well, apparently my contents library is empty. This is one of their new additions. The nice little contents library. Um, yeah, I'm not even showing that. Well, that's interesting. So at any rate, I've got our map. So now if we go to our map browser, there's that one, and I can tag it Family Adventure. Um, so I'm working on one that actually, it's Sidoria. It's got different continents. Um, I've been working on this one. Far from complete, however. Um, Towns, maps, and this is the adventure that I'm running at home. So, let's see, what time is it? 8:40, kind of early. Um, you know what? I'm gonna make another map. Biomes, states, sepia, save as map. And save as PNG. Now that I know that I can't control Fog of War separately on the different layers, or together rather, even though it turns on, um, that wasn't perfect. That was actually cropped off a bit there. You know what? I can live with that. New map. Save as map. Save as PNG. See, this is how easy it is to make maps using this for your adventures. I mean, I could, in the span of the 2 hours that I intended to spend on streaming, I could probably make 10, 20 good maps. Just maps, no towns. I'm not going through customizing roads, towns, stuff like that. Just the maps themselves. kind of two. For this one, we're going to change things a bit. We're going to make it a volcano. New map. And I'm going to the cultures don't matter because I'm not doing that. And the towns are fine. Let's go ahead and bump down the GUI a little bit. New map. It doesn't really look like a volcano. New map. There's so much you can do with this tool. There we go. I like that one. But you know, you don't have to go to this extreme. New folder, maps. You can of course play Dungeons and Dragons without tools at your disposal, just straight through your mind, because the players do have an amazing, amazing imagination. Okay, so that's it. I'm not gonna bother importing them right now. I do have some maps in here though. I didn't really intend on showing off Arkenforge, but this is what I use. I gotta exit the desktop. I'm missing some stuff here. Essentials is installing. Oh, okay. I've got to reinstall all these. They're content packs. And apparently since I updated recently, I have to reinstall all those as well as my custom packs. Okay, whatever. Well, that explains that. Why I'm missing all my icons and everything. Um, so yeah, that's about all I got on Arkenforge for now. I'm going to go ahead and relaunch that and let that do its updates. Click to install. I'll let those pinned. And I'm going to let that run. What do you say? I'm going to go ahead and change the stream. Alright, so give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I'm going to change the stream information. I don't know if it changes it on the fly if I change it. So I'm going to change it over to RimWorld. Adventures of King Arthur. King Arthur returns. Update information.